Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Denver. We are so grateful you decided to join us today. Whether you are with us in person or watching online, we want you to know you are welcome here. We are so very grateful you have chosen to spend time with us. We are a place, a space, and a face of love. We are a spiritual community teaching ancient wisdom and new thought principles that empower our lives and the lives of others. We invite you to join us every Sunday at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place at 216 South Grant Street in Denver, Colorado, and online on our YouTube channel at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. This is a place where all people, in all our diversity, on all our different paths, and with all our individual and unique expressions of life, may come together to celebrate our inherent oneness as perfect manifestations of the one Spirit through the use of science of mind principles. We recognize that our thoughts create our journey, and by affirming love, faith, compassion, and joy, we attract beauty, peace, and purpose into our lives. We give thanks for our uniqueness and our diversity of life, while we celebrate the one life that is all life, God's life. We come together each Sunday to hear inspiring messages by our minister, Reverend Elzia Sekou, and our various guest speakers, as well as share in fellowship and collective conversations. Plus, we trust you will be inspired by our special guest musicians. And now, here is our opening song, The Garden by Eddie Watkins, Jr.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden, that garden is you. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden, that garden is you. Such a beautiful garden, that garden is you.
Beautiful, beautiful music. Yes. Hello on this beautiful morning. going to be warm out there today. I'm Bill Carlton, a practitioner at CSL Denver, and I invite you to close your eyes and just be in this presence. Take a deep, soothing breath and release all the negative emotions. Just be present in this beautiful world. We feel that oneness of God surrounding all of us and leading us to embrace in the imperfections in our lives. We know that oneness is present in the message we receive, the music we hear, the technical support of Reverend Elzia and Diego, who's running our background. I know each and every one participating and attending this service is blessed. I'm grateful and give thanks for all that has brought us here at this moment. As we release these to the universe, knowing they come back to us tenfold, and so it is. So it is. Our talk for today is answering the call of possibilities. What might we discover together if we dared to step into the silence beyond words? From Howard Thurman in the Inward Journey, page 52, we do not know each other yet. We have not dared to be silent together. From Emerson in Essays, what I must do is that all that concerns me, not what the people think. Feel yourself, be in that presence. And to each is given what they need, and the gifts of heaven come alike to all. Ernest Holmes in Science of Mind. The essence of love, while exclusive, pervades everything. And also, there is a law of unfoldment in humans that says we can advance only by going from where we are to that place where we would like to be. Page 271. And the infinite is personal to every soul who believes in the infinite. And now a bit of music from Bob Sima. Thank you.
Greetings, CSL Denver, coming in live, sort of, with you. We've been sending in videos because I had just had a surgery a couple weeks ago, and I'm recovering, and I'm feeling good enough to maybe belt out a song for you. A brand new song. That's why Shannon's not here singing with me. She doesn't know this song yet. So fresh off the press, hot off the press, as they say. It's definitely about self-care and taking care of yourself and not worrying. The title of this is I Don't Know, and that's all right. And so this came through the leading up to my surgery, just the health challenge I was dealing with, and getting close to being on the other side of it now. And you know, in those moments, you get those feelings of like these worst case scenarios come up, and all these thoughts that can flood your mind because you don't know and what's going on necessarily. And anyway, this song is going to be on my 10th album. With that to say, there's 9 other albums. There's a link here. You can go to that website. You can download any song you want. Albums, you can order a flash drive, or you can order a CD. I just wanted to say that because I'd love for you guys to have this music, have it in your lives, playing in your homes, your kids listening to it, your grandparents, whoever. I have been fortunate enough to win 5 Posse Awards for some of these songs, been nominated for 15, I think. So the songs have some traction really in the New Thought world. I think they would mean a lot to you, and it would mean a lot to us, I know, for you guys to have them. But anyway, this is a new song, and it's called I Don't Know, and that's all right. Can you find your way in the dark? Can you close your eyes and follow your heart? And on the roads where you can't see around the bend, can you go within, be your own best friend? Can you live in the mystery? Just let go. Can you enter this moment, embracing what you don't yet know, and say, yeah, I don't know, and that's alright. Things will reveal themselves to me in time. But for now I'm living in a place that feels so nice, where I don't know, and that's alright. When you were wondering when your wondering will end, can you hold that thought, sit back and just pretend that everything is arranging itself for your highest good? And to your patient mind, this will all be understood. Can you live in the mystery? Can you just let go? And can you enter this moment, embracing what you don't yet know, and say, yeah, I don't know, and that's alright. Things will reveal themselves to me in time. But for now I'm living in a place that feels so nice, where I don't know, and that's alright. Not needing to know it's a superpower, it's a state of mind. Sinking into a trust that can only come from deep inside. Not knowing is a knowing that there's a grand design. I don't know, and that's alright. Y'all can sing it with me. I don't know, and that's alright.
And welcome to Denver, a place, a space, and a face of love. A spiritual community teaching ancient wisdom and utilizing universal principles to empower our lives and the lives of others. We want to welcome your presence here today. We open our hearts and minds to the spirit and infinite wisdom that always present. So if you just close your eyes as we make this affirmation to allow us to continue to move in a way that is easy and graceful. As we open up to the guidance all around, may every thought we think today be aligned with clarity. May every word we speak be rooted in truth. May every action we take be a conscious cause for healing, truth, and divine expansion. We affirm that we stand in the flow of a universal power, energy, and intelligence that is responsive and is abundant and is waiting for us to take our place. We send forth blessings to every person who hears this message, knowing that this service is a doorway of awareness, a catalyst for transformation, and a reminder that we live in a field of infinite possibilities. And so it is. Amen. And so it's wonderful to wake up on a day like today when we see the sun shining, and although it's supposed to be winter, we know, but it's still so good to see that sun, because when we see a sun like this in winter, we really are able to tap into the talk for today, which is answering the call of possibilities. No one probably thought in December that mid-February would be, I don't know, spring, summer, I don't know what it is. But no one thought about it as a possibility, I'm sure. And so as we step into this idea of calling in terms of possibilities, it is paramount that we surrender. That's the first thing that we have to do, is surrender. Because today we gather to understand this idea of what is possibility. And after we understand what it is, then we have to figure out how to answer that call that's calling us, that's knocking on the door. You know, they say if someone comes and just knocks and stops, the chances of you really hearing that are small. But if you just keep knocking, pretty soon, somebody, even if it ain't you, somebody's going to say, what is that racket? What is it that is beckoning for my attention to awaken, to arrive, to listen to that whisper, if you will, that small knock as it unfolds? Now, when we look at wisdom traditions and ancient studies, every system of ideology, religion, philosophy, and what else has taught that the idea of an infinite world is always there unfolding, always there waiting for us to step in. It's kind of like a dancer that hears a drum. You know, if anyone in here has been a dancer or gone to a dance, especially if it's a rhythm dance or African dance, that rhythm that just continues to beat, that continues to call, the dancer can only get up and dance. the infinite possibility of finding your rhythm, of finding how the song of life, if you will, is calling for an infinite possibility of dancing. Your dance is always there. It's always waiting. It's like a sunrise is calling the dawn. I mean, it's calling the horizon. Or spirit, as we say, God, the infinite intelligence, is always calling us to be more than we thought we ever could be. This unfolding, like a seed that takes root and gets sustenance and unfolds into this grand idea. Are you ready to step into this idea of infinite possibilities? Are you ready? Because it's not hard, but it requires a little bit of work. And sometimes, I'm going to speak for myself. Sometimes, boy, I sure don't want to do no work. I want to lay down and watch the TV or, you know, get a good meal. But work, that's something that yeah, right? But after I take a moment and maybe get sidetracked, I realize that infinite possibilities will only open themselves up to me if I do the work, if I open up. So from this idea, we see that possibilities is not a concept. It's not this theoretical idea or this philosophical moment where we can think about something happening to change a current situation. And we have absolutely, positively, a ton of stuff that needs to be changed right now. That's individually and collectively. How we respond, how we come together to answer calls. But we have to be willing to understand and even declare that there are infinite possibilities waiting. There was a time when they thought polio was uncurable. But somebody had an idea. Somebody leaned into the infinite possibility and says, if I live in an infinite world, there's got to be an answer. There's got to be a solution. There's got to be a way for me to tap into the intelligence of the universe and find the answer, find the cure, find the peace. Now, you know, that requires, again, that magic word, work. Work. You know, oftentimes when we talk about this teaching, people fall into magical thinking. Magical thinking, and abracadabra, and hocus pocus, and dominocus, and all those things that we call in thinking that it's just that. But I would say, in part, it is magical thinking. The magic part of it is the infinite possibilities that make themselves available to you. But the real crux of the matter is what you gonna do. What you gonna do? Are you gonna, you know, as we used to say, are you gonna get involved or sit there and mildew? Are you gonna barbecue or mildew? What you gonna do? Because we have to get this thing moving. We have to do it. And the instant that we begin to think about how it evolves, we get this quote from Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes says this. Ernest Holmes says, infinite possibilities lie within us. The potential of the universe is ours. It's there. It's there. We don't have to question it, although we do question it. Why? Why do we question it? Because we done got off track. We done forgot who we are. We are not in alignment with the infinite intelligence that created us all in the likeness and image of all things possible. Think about the beginning of the universe where there was nothing but gas. And then, God knowing, that gas coalesced into something solid. And that something solid differentiated itself in a different way. And now, after billions of years of looking at and stepping into infinite possibilities, here we sit, listening, talking, thinking from gas. What an infinite possibility we are. What an infinite possibility we are. And to really own it and step into it, we have to realize that it's a two parts thing. It's a dance to the drum. It's an internal and an external process that we're dealing with, dance that we're doing. It's a step that says the external part of understanding what possibilities are opportunities and timings and connections. That's the external part. But now the internal part, which is what really matters, because you can have all that going on out here and it just be going on. But the internal part is a shift to what we believe is real. Because if you don't believe there are opportunities, they're going to look like obstacles. If you don't believe that we are in a place that allows us to go beyond any idea in our mind currently, we're going to be lost. Our founder in his home says, change your thinking and change your life. Change your thinking and change your life. So if you don't think there are infinite possibilities, if you keep looking at the same old things over and over and over and over again, well, guess what you're going to get? Keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. There's no other option or opportunity. Well, there's always the opportunity, but there's no a generation of something new if you keep, you can't keep cooking beef and saying, boy, I sure would love some chicken. Gotta cook chicken. You gotta cook chicken. So that's how we have to look at life. If we want something different, we gotta call, respond, and lean into something different. Lean into something different. And that requires us, here's the thing, it requires us, as our monthly theme indicates, you have to step to the edge. You got to get out there on that point where, really there's no return once you jump in it. If I'm on the mountain and I'm hand gliding, first I got to get to the edge to do the gliding. That's first and foremost. Now, because if that ain't present, let me know when you're going to do this, and I'm going to have paramedics just waiting, because it ain't going to work. But when you're really, really ready, you've read all the books, you've said all the affirmations, and you've done all the prayers and treatments, that sets the container. But to really step into that possibility, you have to get to the edge and jump. Nothing's happening unless you put that in motion. Eden Phillipotts says this: the universe is full of magical things patiently waiting for our wit to grow sharper. That's what we're working with now. You gotta have some wit with this thing, meaning you gotta be relaxed. You gotta have fun with it. You're not gonna, if you're stuck in a rigid mindset, forget it. Nothing's happening. Nothing. Well, if you want to keep getting what you're getting, keep doing what you're doing. That's what's going to happen if you're stuck in a rigid mindset. But when you can step into infinite possibilities and hear that call and allow it to take you to the edge and jump, You know, they say that story about the eagle, you know, or it's only when the mother pushes the eagle out of the nest that it learns, oh, I got wings. I can fly. That's what we have to remember. There's a Sufi story, an old Sufi story I wanna tell just to kind of encapsulate this thing, and I think it's very appropriate because Ramadan starts on Tuesday or Wednesday, one of them days, depending on the sighting of the moon. But there's this story where this young lady named Samira, she was a potter, and she, you know, was doing her craft. She was doing her thing, and she had in her mind this idea of the perfect pot. So she'd sit at the wheel and she'd, you know, make a little something and throw it on the ground because it wasn't what she imagined. She shaped it and it was lopsided, and she shaped it and it collapsed, and it just was not what she thought it was going to be or wanted it to be. And then one day she was sitting there at the potter's wheel and it didn't come out, and she just threw it violently on the floor. And then one of the elders came by and saw her and said, "Child, what are you doing?" And she says, "Well, I got this idea of this pot that I want to make in my mind, and I just can't seem to get it right. Just can't seem to get it right." And so the elder said this, "Child, you are fighting the clay. Stop fighting the clay." The elder smiled again and gently said, "Possibility is not something you force. It's something you listen to. Ask the clay it wants to become." That's us. We the clay. just to make that clear. And we have the divine mind of God inside of us that is saying, "Well, I'm trying to make something, but you won't let me. You stuck in something. I don't know what you're stuck in, but you're stuck in it. And until you release, I can't do my magic." And so Samira said, "All right, let me see what I can do." So she sat again at the potter's wheel, and she softened her hands, and she released all the tension, and she took deep breaths. And guess what? She felt that clay respond like the drummer in the dance. It just started doing its own thing, and there was a groove there. There was a rhythm there. And eventually, she created the pot that was in her mind from an infinite possibility of things that could be created. And she said, "My God, what happens when we surrender and listen and hear the call of the divine?" She realized at that moment, invitation to possibility is not something you force. You can't force it. You have to lean into it. You have to be receptive to it. You have to allow it to flow through you. Flow through you. Now that's hard. Just be honest. There's a lot of things that grab your attention every day, every second, to keep you from getting in touch. I'm going to say with you, but really it's getting in touch with the divine. You know, there's this idea that is floating around, and I used to use it myself, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't think it's appropriate anymore. And that is this idea of authenticity. A little pretentious to me now that I think about it. What I think is more appropriate to capture the real sentiment of what we're trying to articulate when we talk about authenticity is alignment. How do I align with what I'm here to do? of the infinite possibilities that's calling me. A little different, but it takes away some of this highbrow stuff. You know what I mean? You know, we got a lot of that going on, highbrow intelligence and I don't even know. I don't even know what to call it. Everybody is smarter than everybody else, and everybody's pontificating on everybody. And they're missing the infinite possibilities. They're regurgitating something they read or something they heard or something they saw, and they're not leaning into the infinite possibilities and answering that call that's in front of us every day. Every day it's there. Every day. So, you know, as we open up and realize that this is not for us, we are often arriving at this place with the idea that a persistent ideal that won't leave you alone. That's a possibility. It just won't leave you. You've had one of them, no matter what you do. Sometimes it comes as a dream. It just keeps coming. Or sometimes you have this thing and I see it on the TV. I hear it on the radio. I hear somebody in the grocery line just remind me of that thing, that infinite possibility that I'm just like, well, okay, yeah, right. It's a desire that returns over and over again. A moment of discomfort. Now, here's the real one. It's a moment of discomfort that's calling you and saying to you, guess what? This ain't working. Remember that work word? This is not working. Whatever you're doing, it keeps calling, but it ain't working. I got to do something different. That's when we know we are being called by infinite possibilities, and our job is to step up and answer. To step up and answer. So I want to give you 3 things to remember as we move into this new way of being, this way of looking at infinite possibilities. Our founder in his home said, do not allow the conditions that you find yourself in to create your reality. Now, I paraphrase that because I think that I want to let you know that the circumstances you find yourself in does not define you. It does not lock you in place. And I can give you a whole story of my life where that has been true at every step of the way. I had some serious circumstances, and if I had allowed them circumstances to just weigh me down like chains and balls, y'all wouldn't probably know me. I definitely wouldn't be here. But I had an infinite possibility mindset. You know, growing up, my father would always watch Robert Schuller in the Crystal Cathedral. Boy, I tell you, I got more church Sunday. We would watch Billy Graham. We'd watch Robert Schuller, and then we'd go to our church. I tell you, by the time at the end of the day, I was churched up, if not churched out. I'm just telling you. But the one thing I used to love was Robert Schuller, is that whole infinite possibilities, always there. And so I'm going to give you 3 things so that we can step boldly into the infinite possibilities in this infinite field of intelligence. The first thing is possibility requires awareness and availability. Awareness and availability, because I can be aware of all kinds of things, but if I'm not available, if I'm not opening myself up to it, it's like it's not even there. Because listen, possibilities start within. In other words, the world you experience is deeply shaped what you hold in your mind. That's how it's shaped. Now, remember that clay? It's gone from the divine now to us. Now we got to shape the clay. We have to shape it to what we're looking for. We got to be aware. We got to be available. Ernest Holmes says this: we should think of our lives as an increasing awareness, an ever-growing and expanding consciousness, a never-ceasing progress of individual and collective evolution. That's, as they say in Australia and over in Europe, full stop. You know, they don't say period. They say full stop. Boom, that's it. That's the thing right there. We have to do that. Dr. Holmes also said in The Science of Mind, he said that, I mean, in the Creative Mind and Success, we are limited only by our inability to see the limitless. To see the limitless. Now that means, you know, one thing Bill said, you got to close your eyes and you got to get silent. You got to get, because we already know what we see with our eyes. Boy, that can be really, really tricky. We can be tricky. That's why we always hear in all traditions, you need to tap into your mind's eye. You got to tap into your mind's eye. And when that happens, we remember, when we understand this thing about awareness and availability, we learn this. Possibilities die when we demand guaranteed results. Ancient wisdom teaches us repeatedly, do the work, release the grip, and be available. It'll happen. That's that alignment piece. That's when this thing starts just, you know, it just keeps happening and you don't even know why. You just think, golly, what happened? And sometimes you have to pause, turn around, even when you're mixed in mire, and you have to turn around and look backwards. And, you know, my favorite, you see footsteps. God was carrying you when you only see that one step, but that's only when you allow. That's only when you make yourself available. Then the second thing, we're back to that 4-letter word, work. Possibilities expand through action. That's the only way. It expands. Lao Tzu said this. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Y'all, everybody probably heard that. That's what we're doing here. You got to do something. You got to take the first step. You got to take the first step. Because if you don't, possibility is activated by motivation, by movement. That's how it's, you know, it's like, you remember them old Victrolas? It didn't play unless you had to turn the crank. Once you turn the crank, oh, boom, you put the needle on and uh-oh, there's a dancer coming. I feel it. I feel the dancer. We done turned the Victrola on. That's it. There's some action. You got to do it. Possibility asks us to outgrow something. We have to outgrow a belief or a habit or fear or a pattern. That's what possibility asks us to do. But are you ready? Are you aware and making yourself available for that? Because believe me, if you're not making yourself available for that, you're making you available for this. And this is what we don't want most of the time. We don't want it. And I guess on that point, the last thing is, it never shows up as a finished picture. We have infinite possibilities here. This thing is evolving and moving. So it's great for right now, but it's still moving. Are you ready to take action, to get involved? And once you've got all this information and knowledge, the last thing that we have to remember, this is it. This is the crux of the matter. Possibilities are created when you say yes. You can have all this stuff, but if you don't say yes, ain't nothing happening. You can have all the resources and ideas and make yourself available and be aware, but if you don't say yes, I don't know, just like watching somebody else's movie, watching somebody else's life. move forward, but not yours, not mine if I don't take the step. You cannot receive what you are not willing to own. You can't receive it if you ain't willing to own it. You got to say yes. You have to say yes. Now, you may say yes and say, ooh, I don't want this no more. I thought I did, but that's okay. Because why? We live in infinite possibilities. We live in a transformative world. We can transform it. Just like we take a clump of clay and transform it into a pot. And your hands sometimes get messy and clay splatters all in your face. But at the end of the day, you got a nice piece of pottery. That's what we're being asked to do. Howard Thurman says this: don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And that's what this infinite possibility allows us to do, to come alive. To come alive. Ancient wisdom teaches this as we close. The vessel must be prepared before it can receive the blessing. I can't emphasize that enough. If I pour water on this floor, that's a problem. But if I want to drink some water, but if I want to get the blessing of drinking the water, I have to have the vessel available to receive that blessing that quenches my thirst, that allows me to look into infinite possibilities. And so as we close and we remember that I have to make myself available, I have to be aware, I got to take some action, and I got to say yes to life, yes to whatever it is that's calling. And that means I got to get busy with finding out what's calling. But when that happens, it's not asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be present. To be present. It's asking you to say, I am willing to do the work. And so let us pray. Dear Heavenly Mother, Father God, that infinite source of wisdom and guidance and resources that allow all things to be possible. We know that right here, right now, that we are asking for an expression of the divine within ourselves to be more than we thought we ever could be, to see in our mind's eye what is possible and then go do that. Because we are equipped with the heart, with the mind, with the soul that is in tune with the infinite. And all we have to do is align, to put ourselves in right relationship with that thing. And so as we do that, we ask that we say yes to the infinite so that it can express through us, as us, is us. Because there is no place where God is not. And it is in that understanding that I give thanks and I release this prayer into a law that is always working, that is working as a matter of fact right now. Even before we said this prayer, it is working on the energy and ideas within our mind. And so we just release, we let go, and we know that this is absolutely, positively so. And so it is, amen. And so, as always, y'all know they're going to be call to actions. And so there's 3 call to action. Do one of all 3, and they'll be on the website. First one, take one brave step. Take one action you've been postponing that aligns with your next level in whatever you do, whoever you are. The second is create an evidence journal. Each night, write one sentence. Today, I saw possibility when. I saw possibility win. And the third is to activate your wisdom scout. Invite your inner wisdom to activate your calling. Spend 30 minutes doing what genuinely energizes you. Then notice what is revealed about your calling. That's what we have to do. And one or several or all of those things will begin to cultivate within us something that allows us to be more than we think we can be. And so the affirmation to close out this is I am available to the possibilities calling me. One true step is enough to begin. And so it is. And so it's now that time for sacred giving. We thank you for joining us and participating in this exchange of energy and ideas and the giving of your time, talent, and treasures. And there are many different ways you can give. You can see this running across the bottom of the screen. Maybe you can if I get this out of the way, but you can go to the P.O. box. You can go to the website and hit the donate button. You can send to the P.O. box, or you can text to give, and it's running across the bottom of the screen. And so however you do it, please give. And to anchor that idea of circulation, we place our hand on our heart and we repeat this affirmation. This perfect gift is spirit informed, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is, amen. And so it is, amen. And Alice is going to give us announcements, and one that I forgot to give, and I know she's going to get me, but I'm going to let her get it about our new people.
So we want to welcome Bob Burkaw and Jerry Hodges, our new practitioner emeritus. Welcome to CSL Denver. And actually, as a matter of fact, Jerry is going to be sharing. We're doing the Divine Dialogue right after service, so we're having some fellowship and some snacks, and then circling up. And Jerry's going to talk about relationships and how to work on making them maybe work better for us. So we still have some new, I think we've got 2 January, February Science Mind magazines left. They are $10, and it's a bi-monthly magazine. Plus, we've got several new, older ones, and they're free. So if you're new to Science of Mind and you want to learn a little bit more about what's going on there, then grab one of those magazines, or more than we have a lot. So just take them home and read them. Make some use of them. And then we also have some remaining handouts. I did the Community Cafe last month on the empowerment dynamic, and it's using I'm not going to go into it. Anyway, so there's a handout there that will tell you all about it. And then next Sunday, Teresa is going to be doing our next Community Cafe on trauma-informed community. So she will teach us practical trauma-informed skills to strengthen community care and connection. This interactive workshop explores how trauma shows up in groups and everyday interactions. We all know about trauma, especially going on these days in the world. So we will explore how to respond with empathy, boundaries, and resilience. And participants will leave with tools to create safer, more supportive spaces for collaboration, healing, and collective growth. So we don't do a regular service. We just keep the tables in a square. We bring some food to share. We have some community. That's the most important part. And then Teresa will make a presentation on the trauma-informed community. So bring a friend, bring some food, or just bring yourselves, and we would love to have you. Then let's see. So we are so blessed to have New Thought Media Network and Diego as our Sunday service producer. And we invite you to go to www.ntmedia.org and check out what they have. They've got well over 40 hours of weekly broadcast programs. Reverend Elzia and Dr. Robert Brzezinski do a program on Tuesdays at 2 o'clock and have discussions on kind of the state of the world. And then they also have a Friday morning thing at 7 a.m. called Ministers Talking Sugar. And so they just have some discussion and stuff. And you don't have to be up at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning or Friday morning. You can watch it later. So you just go to the www.ntmedia.org. So we are so truly blessed. Oh, I know, the Curiosity Corner. We've got all kinds of books and tapes and all kinds of stuff. On the right is the bargain basement. We're going to kind of jettison some of that stuff. So anything on the bargain table is free. So if there's any book or anything you see that you like, please take it home. Find a new home for it. And then the things over here have got some prices to them. So please take a look. So we're truly blessed by everyone who has chosen to support CSL Denver by showing up on Sundays or watching our programs online. We know that as we move through the rest of the year, the divine beloved is guiding and loving each and every one of us. It's true. It really is true. It's beloved loving us and guiding us. Thank you for joining us. Now let's close out with Karen Drucker singing I'm So Grateful.
Hey, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. Hey, oh yeah, grateful. I just say I am so grateful every day for all I have. Every day, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all I have. Every day I say it. Grateful. How I'm grateful. Every day. Oh yeah. I am so grateful. Oh yeah. I'm so grateful. 'Cause I accept and I receive. I am so grateful. Oh yes, I am. I am so grateful. Hey, grateful. I just come up